it's Randy, and as you all can tell by the title of this video, I am officially done with my 4th trimester of chiropractic school. I seriously cannot believe I'm already done with Try 4 because I feel like I was just making a video about Try 1. So it's just crazy that I'm already done. But as always, of course, I am going to give y'all a recap on everything that happened in Try 4. So of course, everyone knows about the entire coronavirus, and I will definitely give into details about that on how that changed our trimester. But first and foremost, at the start of our trimester, we actually were given our doctor bags. I don't know if any of you guys saw that on my Instagram, but it was so cool because at the beginning of Try 4, that starts our clinical sciences. So that starts like the classes where we actually start not just studying about being a doctor, but actually doing, like taking blood pressure, vitals, like different things like that. And so in our doctor bags, we were given things to do: a full exam of the heart, a full exam of the lungs, an exam of the abdomen, a neurological exam to test for nerves, and also exams to test for different eye issues, nose, or even throat and ear issues that can be seen in a doctor's office. So I know a lot of people don't know that, oh my gosh, you guys learn all of that in chiropractic school? Yes, we do, and we had practicals for that. So it was just a lot of fun actually getting the doctor bags at the beginning of the trimester and just realizing like, whoa, this is for real. And I would say that it freaked me out, and it was super nerve-wracking because tries 1 through 3 was just our basic science courses. And so now at the beginning of Try 4, it actually turns into like, okay, everything my professor is saying, I could see in a future patient, so I need to make sure I know it. So that was overwhelming, and that did freak me out the first week of school just because I was transitioning into, wow, okay, this is serious. Like, I'm really starting to learn to be a doctor. And so that was a whole transition, but other than that, it was great, and I just loved that we started off the try with our doctor bags because it made the try more special, and it gave us something kind of like a push and look forward to as we were starting the trimester. So, of course, I always talk about all the classes I was in. So this is my binder that has everything for all of my classes. I do use an iPad that I keep all of my PowerPoints and notes on, but this is just my binder. This was our schedule. So that is what we had going on, basically 8 to 4 or even 8 to 5 on that day. So let's just go ahead and talk about the classes I took. So the first class I took was Advanced Communication and History Taking. This class was basically just about taking a detailed history on a patient that was involved in specific things. So I think we did a pregnancy one, so we had to take a detailed history about the pregnancy of one of our standardized patients that was pregnant. She wasn't really pregnant, but was acting like she was pregnant. We also did one for a work accident, an automobile accident. What else did we do some for? There was a lot. And I feel like that's why, we did an older adult. So that was fun because we know that we're gonna see older adult patients in our office, and so we need to know the specific questions that we need to ask them. And I think we even did, delivering a review of findings. That was probably my favorite one, and with that task, we just had to actually walk into our office with the standardized patient, and we told them, based off of the exam, this is what we found, and we just had to give like a little paper about what was going on with them. And so that was a lot of fun. So I did enjoy that class a lot, and so I loved that. We also took a class called Physical Examination, so we just call it PE. That's what our doctor bags were for. And in that class, we actually we learned so much. It was just so crazy learning how to take vitals and listen to the heart, listen to the lungs, percuss the lungs to detect if anything is wrong. And we just learned so many different diseases, and it was just a lot of fun, and like how those diseases present. We did for the abdomen also, sensory and like the nervous system, and for the eyes, ears, nose, and throat. So that was a lot of fun. It was really, really hard because there's so much that could go wrong, and just like having to memorize what was wrong, and then performing the exam and having to know, okay, this is how this patient would present if they had this. So that was a lot of fun. We took Physiology 3. So as you guys know, I took a phys class in Tri 2, a phys class in Tri 3, and this was my last phys class this Tri. It was very basic. It was just about physiology, and nothing big happened in that class. But I mean, we did little labs and stuff, and so that was a lot of fun, but it wasn't a super big class. It just ended up being just the little last bit of physiology that we had to go over. We did our second adjusting course, so that was a lot of fun. This adjusting course was lower extremities, so we did like the low back, the hip, pelvis, sacrum. We did the knees and ankle, and so that was a lot of fun. I loved that. We also took a nutrition course. That course was very eye-opening is what I should say, because I never was big into nutrition. My undergrad was not, I did not have a concentration in nutrition. I avoided nutrition, but now that I'll be a chiropractor and a lot of chiros focus on nutrition, I realized, wow, I should have taken some of these nutrition courses when I was at Alabama. But I didn't, but thankfully our professor that teaches it, he taught it so well, so I loved that. And now I know the recommended daily intake and the upper limits for a bunch of vitamins and a bunch of minerals, so that's really cool. We also took a class called Upper Extremity Biomechanics. So as you guys know, I took a spinal biomechanics and a lower extremity biomechanics. So upper extremity was just, we focused on the shoulder to the fingers. And that one was a lot of fun because I really want my practice to have a component of sports in there. So that was cool because we talked about different, like how certain athletes, how they could present if their biomechanics is off. So that was a lot of fun. And then I also took an Intro to Imaging Interpretation course. And I honestly thought going into this course I was not gonna like it, but I loved it and it was so great. And it was basically just looking at normal x-rays and of course looking at some x-rays that weren't normal. And it was a very basic level course, but at the end of the course we even got to start writing radiology reports. So that was a lot of fun. And our professor that teaches that, he is a DAC so he actually went, after he finished chiropractic school, he studied radiology for another 3 years. So it was so cool learning from him because he was so intelligent, super smart. So I really ended up loving that class. And we also took, I thought this was the last class, but it's not. We took Systems Path 2. So that class was just about more pathologies that are seen in various systems of the body. So that class was, it was just a pathology course. I mean, those courses tend to be hard because you have to really focus, okay, what is wrong? How did the patient present? So that's a very detailed course, but I loved it because I love the professor that teaches all of the pathology courses. And last but not least, we took dermatology. This course pushed me because to study dermatology, you have to look up dermatology and just, I don't know if any of y'all have ever typed in different diseases that are seen in dermatology into a Google search bar and just hit enter and click images. But that was very overwhelming because that was just a lot that I was not prepared to see. But that course ended up going well because, of course, as chiropractors, a lot of our professors were saying that they have caught skin cancer on different patients because we do see, sometimes we do look at, like, we see the spine, or we have to expose the shoulder or expose the low back. So we look at people in some places that maybe after you're getting dressed or you just took a shower, not all of us really just look in the mirror and look at our back or look at different parts of our arms or different parts of our lower back or stuff, or our legs. And so that was pretty cool to know that we are very important to actually find these different pathologies that could be on our patients when they have no idea that they're there. So just to wrap everything up in terms of the coronavirus. So we were, I think, going into week 10, there's 12 regular weeks of the tri, and then weeks 13 through 15 are finals. So we were almost done. However, it just became, it was a hot mess because, as I said at the beginning of the video, this is the first trimester where we're not just studying to be doctors, but we're practicing to be doctors. So it was super tough just having to transition into us not getting to practice on each other or actually having standardized patients. So that was tough. And then of course our professors were trying to change everything and make things work, and nothing was all just the same type of, okay, this is what we're gonna do across the board. It was different in each class. And then there were some classes, our professors were like, okay, we're gonna have a quiz at 9 a.m. and you have to be finished by 9:15. Here's the password. It's gonna be on a lockdown browser. You have to take it during this time or you get a 0. So that was very stressful because we're all at home. We have things at home. Like for instance, I just got this puppy, so Bear is at home, and it's very hard for me to just be like, okay, let me lock you here for this specific 15 minutes. Don't say anything, don't distract me because I had to take this quiz so I don't get a 0. So that was kind of stressful, but some of our professors also were just very helpful. Like my pathology professor, she just said, okay guys, we're gonna finish with 3 more quizzes. I'm gonna record the rest of my lectures, so make sure y'all watch them, and I will, whenever you get the chance to watch them, just make sure y'all watch them, and I will check and make sure that you did, and if you watch all the lectures, then that will be your final exam grade, and we'll just do it like that. And she even did little reviews for us before the quizzes, just so that we really actually grasp the material. So I loved that she did that. And other professors were just trying to be as helpful as possible, but I know it was all over the place. And so thankfully we got to do an end of the trimester survey. Like basically, since we transitioned to Corona, we got to do a survey over that. And so I just expressed how it's very hard for our professors to expect us to be able to sit down from 8 to 5 when we're at home, and especially during this coronavirus, we can't send, like some of my classmates have kids, they can't send their kids to daycare, or I have Bear, I can't send him to doggy daycare because doggy daycare is closed and also very expensive, so that's not what I'm gonna do. And so just trying to get them to understand that we understand as y'all students that y'all want to have y'all want to be very structured, and y'all want us to feel like we are still in school. However, we know that we're not. So just being more lenient and just giving us an idea of, okay, this is what y'all need to do starting Monday and what you need to have finished by Friday. And just keeping it that simple. Because that would have made it way less stressful, because some things were just way, way, way too stressful. But it all ended up being okay. I finished with the grades that I wanted to. I'm so thankful that I was able to finish with all A's, and I just don't take that lightly, because I'm just so thankful and incredibly blessed that God has given me the desire to study something I'm so passionate about, and also to just give me the capacity to do well at something that I love so much, because that just makes me love it even more. But definitely this trimester threw us for a loop, and unfortunately, Tri 5 is supposed to start May 19th, which it will, but it will be online. We won't go back to school physically until June 29th, given that everything goes as planned. So, of course, we're gonna have to go with that flow and see what happens. But above all, I love Tri 4, still love what I'm studying. Can't wait to go to Tri 5 and can't wait to graduate and actually get out there in the field. And if anyone ever has any questions about chiropractic school or anything in that nature, I would be so happy to answer, because I remember before I started chiropractic school, I had so many questions. So I definitely will help answer them. And I know this video's got really long. All of my end of the try videos are always super long, and I'm so sorry, but I just want to give y'all as much information about it as possible if anyone out there is thinking about going to chiropractic school. So, of course, reach out to me if you have any questions or comments or concerns or anything, and I definitely will respond. And I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Goodbye.